Making life-changing decisions can be daunting and scary until you do. A bit like learning how to run when you're an oldie. This week in the Cool Stuff, I went for a mini run with fellow runner and broadcaster Rams Mabote, who decided to do just that, making life-changing decisions. As a single parent, he started a foundation that focuses on young boys and how to break the stereotypes about what it is to become a real man. I started off by asking him when it became imperative to do more than just writing about the issue.
Well, I met a young man that I never met, that sounds strange, who was interviewed on the Sunday Times many years ago during the 16 days of activism. And he lamented that people like me who claim to be role models are actually not, because we're not present. They never see us, they never talk to us. There's no feely thing about us. And at that point, Karim, I thought, no, you gotta do something about this, because I come from a township. I see the distraction, and there are many things we deal with, but we never deal with the main problem. Mm-hmm. And I think that the truth is our problems are man-made and man-based. And I thought the little I could do is to actually catch them young as boys. Now that they look up to me, I can then reach out to them and help them to hopefully walk the right path, run the right path. Mm. Whoever can catch. If it's one boy, it's great. If it's 1,000, even better. Yeah.
Now, I mean, you have chosen to work with schools. Why did you choose single moms, and why are you working with schools?
My own cousin came to me. She said, you know, I'm doing everything for Caleb, but I could never, ever be his dad. And he looks up to you. So if he spends more time with you, he'll open up on things that he would never open up with me. I mean, I spent a year with 10 boys last year, single parent boys. And this kind of stuff we spoke about, I knew. When I sent the stuff to their moms, they were like, wow, I didn't know this.
Of course, we've just had the 100 Men's March. It was meant to highlight violence against women and children, and of course, the 100 years dedicated to Madiba. But it drew a lot of criticism because it didn't involve women. You've got a really interesting initiative coming up in August, in Women's Month. Tell us about it.
We can try to do things as men, but if men problems are affecting women, we may very well involve women. So we're going to bring together these boys and their mom in a room. We're going to hustle and tussle and have fun but serious chats about what frustrates mom with their boys.
Ticket to that event.
I want to know what frustrates you with your boy, but you must also know what frustrates them with how you don't listen to them, how you complain about things that they think this should be cool, cool stuff. So we're doing that in August, and we're going to pick a date, bringing 30 to 40 women and their sons. Yeah. And if you have two sons, bring both sons in the room, because it could be a 10-year-old and a 19-year-old, they're different men.
I'm looking at your t-shirt. It's really cool. It's #BeThatGuy, and of course it's your foundation. What does your hashtag and your brand mean?
Half the time, young people, especially young men, are told, don't be that guy, stop being that guy. As in, please smoke with us, drink with us, pet the girl's bum with us, do the wrong things with us. I'm saying, actually, be that guy that says, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to walk away from this fight. I'm going to walk away from the crime. I'm going to walk away from that one puff of a cigarette, which ends up in drugs. Just be that guy. The idiot for 5 minutes that lives a greater life going ahead.
I mean, it's a fantastic concept, but obviously stuff like this costs money. You doing this voluntarily. In fact, you describe yourself as volunteer-in-chief. Yes. How do people become involved? How do you keep this going?
Up until now, I've been stealing from family silver, so it's from my own pocket. But I've gone out to a lot of corporates, and they're listening. I mean, I now have had a very interesting conversation with the Nelson Mandela Foundation, who are willing to adopt this program and help us raise funds. But individuals are starting to donate money into our bank account. In 1,000 rand there goes a long way. It pays for petrol. Yeah. So currently, we're looking for resources. In fact, this also works from the boot of my car. If I could even get a free office, it would be nice. But donations are great, but I'm also asking for other men to come and participate. A professor from UNISA has just come up and said, I want to come in and help boys.
And bring expertise.
Yes, but also teach them how it feels like to be a student.
Studies actually show us that a lot of young men are at risk of violence, of abuse, and very little attention is paid to them. Yes. What is it that you think is the most important things, Rams, that a young boy needs to understand about himself growing up?
If you serve society, society pays you back. It tends to treat you like a cool guy, like we love this fellow. So I'm saying to young boys, stop looking inside. So what can I do for my society? And if you can teach them at an early age, it becomes easier when they're older men, when they don't see service as servitude, because it's not the same.
Now, final question to you. Where would you like to see this foundation?
I actually would like this to be part of a program of the Department of Social Development, because it is about social development.
And cohesion. Huh?
It's cohesion. You spoke about what we do for women. We could never do enough. What we do for the girl child is not even half what we should be doing for the girl child. But I also believe that if we don't stop it at source, which is the boy, we're not going to solve this problem with women. So I think if social development could realize that they're more than grants, they're actually about developing the human being, the inner human being.
Absolutely.
This is an initiation school. I'm running an initiation school here.
That's, of course, Rams Mabote with his foundation, Be That Guy. Peter, just in closing, we've got a lot of big news coming up. One of the big things, of course, is the commission of inquiry into editorial interference at the SABC. We saw the ANC going there. Nobody really knew what was going on.
No, it's been sort of sort of quiet about it.
The EFF is going this week.
Well, good, I hope they make a noise.
Yeah, what do you think they're going to say? They've been getting quite a lot of coverage.
Yeah, well, I mean, like all political parties, they complain they never get enough. And I'm sure the ANC feels that way, as it did when it told the same parliamentary committee, was it a week ago, I think it was. And I suppose the DA will say much the same thing. Each will present their own things in the same way, in different ways, I mean, and the EFF will have its own spin on why it's not getting in. It'll be because of this or that, or some conspiracy or whatever it might be. But it'll be interesting nonetheless what makes us a vibrant democracy, and whatever we are, we're a pretty loud bunch.
I want Dali to tell the SABC why he instituted a commission of inquiry back in the day and quashed it and then took an 11 million rand handshake. But I don't think that's quite going to come to
But if you write to your MP, if you had an MP that we knew on the committee, you could get them to ask the question.
All right, Peter, that's where we have to leave it. Of course, now that you've had your fix for the week, take care and good night. We'll see you next Sunday.